time, on Monday morning, I came in and the commission was waiting. The inspectors were waiting at my office. And Donald and Jeffrey had come into the casino in the wee hours of Sunday morning, 1:30 in the morning. Two buddies. They had three women with them, and the commission was waiting for me because they had determined that the women that they brought down were underage to be on the casino. And when I asked them how they knew that, by the way, one of them was the number 3 ranked tennis player in the world. Okay, and this guy happened to be a tennis fan.
Donald Trump's connection to Jeffrey Epstein is more than just a shadow from the past. It's a scandal that's never truly gone away, and now it's back in the spotlight, with Epstein's own brother dropping explosive allegations that suggest Trump went to extreme lengths, even during his presidency, to bury the truth. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This isn't some last-minute political distraction. Trump's efforts to distance himself from Epstein go back decades. From the moment Epstein's name started drawing scrutiny, Trump began rewriting history, downplaying, denying, or outright erasing his relationship with the disgraced financier. But what's wild is that it didn't stop once Trump became president.
Remembering, this is not something new. This scandal was rocking his first administration too. It's a saga that everyone has basically forgotten. It revolves around Alex Acosta. That was Trump's pick to be his first Secretary of Labor. It was a little strange at the time because Acosta had limited experience on labor issues. But back in 2005, Acosta had been the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. It's a big, important job. And on his watch, the FBI prepared a 53-page federal indictment charging Jeffrey Epstein for sex crimes that could have put him in jail for life. It alleged that Epstein lured a steady stream of underage girls to his Palm Beach mansion to engage in nude massages, masturbation, oral sex, and intercourse. The girls, mostly from disadvantaged, troubled families, were recruited from middle and high schools around Palm Beach County. Middle and high schools. And they were offered money to bring new girls to Epstein. 6 of those women spoke exclusively to NBC News in 2019 about the abuse they endured.
I think the nature of this kind of abuse means that you're conditioned to be silent, to be isolated, secretive, and shameful.
I feel like, it was a big game for him, and we were the pieces of his game.
And you're like, I'm just not going to say anything because that's what he told me to do.
The women all have familiar stories of grooming, promises, and then sexual assault.
I can relate to pretty much every person sitting here next to me.
That indictment that was prepared by the FBI never saw the light of day. Because in 2008, Alex Acosta made a non-prosecution agreement with Epstein, negotiated in secret with Epstein's lawyers, who include Alan Dershowitz, who would go on to be a lawyer for Donald Trump. And under its terms, the feds would just not bring charges against Epstein. They would shut down their grand jury investigation. They would seal the indictment. Epstein would be prosecuted by local authorities for 2 minor charges. Epstein got a 13-month sentence, but he was allowed to leave jail for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Epstein's victims were left unaware the sweetheart deal had even been cut, a fact Acosta was forced to account for as Trump's labor secretary.
And at the end
Do you regret making this deal in secret?
And at the end of the day,
Do you regret making this deal in
Congresswoman,
secret?
if I could finish, if at the end of the day, Mr. Epstein went to jail, Epstein was incarcerated, he registered as a sex offender, the world was put on notice that he was a sex offender, and the victims received restitution.
If anything, his attempts to cover up grew more sophisticated, more desperate. And now we're learning that this wasn't just political image. Management was a strategic cover-up with potential election-altering implications. At its core, the Epstein saga is a story of privilege, a broken justice system that protects the powerful while victims are left behind. And under Trump, that same system served his allies, whether it was appointing loyalists, shielding friends, or just keeping inconvenient connections hidden. Trump used the White House as a fortress against the truth. And when that fortress was threatened, he doubled down. Now, here's where things explode. Epstein's brother, in a shocking new development, accuses Trump of meddling in democratic processes to avoid exposure. The claim? If the public knew what Trump did with Epstein, not just in the past, but while in office there'd be no election, they'd cancel the election. That's not just speculation. That's an insider suggesting there was something so damning
that Epstein told him when he was in prison, but Epstein told his own brother, and his brother has been public about this, that he told him that if the public knew everything that he knew about Trump, they would have to cancel the election. And that's his brother's words, not mine. So there is something there. I'm not saying it means that the president did anything, illegal or he was involved with Epstein's operation at all. But, the story that he told his brother is different from the story that he told that lawyer, number one. The other point I wanted to make is, he also said there's no list. I agree that there probably isn't a list, but my understanding is that Epstein kept files, and he did keep files on people. I don't know whether the Justice Department got their hands on those files, but Epstein had some kind of records. It might not have been, and I don't believe it was, in a formal list that everybody wants to refer to. So I just think that Epstein told different people different things, and it's hard to know really, what's true and what's not true.
So, radioactive, it could delegitimize the entire electoral process. And then, let's talk about the Department of Justice under Trump. Bill Barr was Trump's attorney general when Epstein died in 2019. And while Trump claims to have distanced himself from Epstein by then, Barr's own connections raise questions. Not just because of Epstein's suspicious prison death, but because of what the DOJ may have been doing behind the scenes. Trump was already reportedly floating the idea of pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's alleged accomplice. If he considered that, what might he have done to keep Epstein quiet? To hide evidence? To erase his name from the files? Chris Hayes reported that Trump is now suing to keep key Epstein-related files. Hidden files that include a leather-bound book filled with letters to Epstein, one letter, a birthday card from Trump himself. So let's put it together. Trump had a relationship with Epstein. He sent personal messages. And now, those documents are at the center of a legal storm. He's fighting tooth and nail to prevent them from seeing the light of day. Why? What's in them? What else is in them? At this point, we're not talking about vague conspiracies, talking about a pattern of behavior. A man willing to use his power to protect himself, a Justice Department acting like his personal defense team, and now family members of one of the most notorious figures in modern history saying the quiet part out loud. This isn't over, and as more revelations drop, the story will only grow louder. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop A in the comments if you made it to the end. See you in the next one.